What do you think was the intention of Saturday Night Live to bring Dave Chappelle on during this whole Kyrie, Kanye, this whole era that's going on right now? Do you think that they was like, okay, we'll get some people to hate on him too, because I know he's going back what they're saying. What was your thoughts on that?
It was probably booked well before all of this happened. So that probably, the timing is probably less, conspiratorial than that. And apparently the writers on SNL were not happy that Chappelle was there. There was apparently some conflict about his presence, with people not feeling a kind of way about him being there. I would have actually preferred if he had done a monologue that included that. Like if he had gotten at some of the writers a little bit, but I think, so I think they were looking to capitalize this off of his popularity like anybody else and whatever controversy existed before. And then this popped off and they were like, oh.
Yeah. I think he was definitely pre-booked, as in he is now the host after federal elections, after midterm and presidential elections.
That's right.
It's kind of like he's now become their go-to host to have the dialogue around, or what we're supposed to be experiencing across the nation through either electoral victories or not, or whatever. I watched the clip of the opening monologue. I mean, I thought it was funny, personally. Like, I got jokes out of it. But I think it's more that, and like Jay said, it's like more these other things that's happened in time, and Jay is not going to. Chappelle is not going to let it rest or whatever like that. I mean, the one thing I do give dude credit for also is, again, people may disagree with what the comedy is or whether they think it's funny or harmful or whatever, but he does address, in terms of social commentary, issues that people have tried to shy away from. And he didn't have, I think the monologue on some of the stuff around Black-Jewish relations within a comedic format was kind of like surprisingly daring. And some of the shit that he said, it was like, oh, okay, he could have done the whole hold hands type of comedy shit too, but he didn't. He was like kind of like, there's certain things that you aren't allowed to talk about and keep a career going, or you have to phrase a certain way to keep a career going. I thought that shit he said about the gang mob coincidence was masterful in terms of social commentary and comedy. So yeah.
No, I think he's a genius, and whatever his politics are, and I would agree that they're insufficiently radical, but that's to be expected. But I think his skill, and to do that long a monologue, because that was a long monologue, and to handle the topic the way he did, it's not sufficient though. But again, it's part of my frustration, because again, if as I said last night, if NBC or if SNL wants to have serious conversations about these issues, you got a fucking network. You got a whole fucking network. You could host 24 hours a day for a week, all Black and Jew history, all day, all whatever. You could do with all the experts in the world. You could interview all the experts, get it all out, and then go back. But no, So they want, on some level, there is an intent that we be focused on what Chappelle said or Kanye said, and we don't hear from pick one.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's the whole intent, right? Like the whole, like again, as you said it before, whereas other folks in media studies have talked about. Obviously, it serves a couple of purposes. The programming is just to get you to get to the commercials, right? It's a way to it's the way to get to the ads. They'll put up whatever they think can get you to watch, but the real point is to get you in front of those ads. It's not really the programming itself. And then two, it's the propaganda, right? It's to keep you thinking a certain way around wealth, right? Around how you get out of poverty, or what the causes of poverty. It's a distraction. It's a way of getting you locked into a sort of an American ethos of what's good and bad and what's proper. Even if at times there's some cutting edge shit at times on television, for the most part, that is surrounded by propaganda. And that's how propaganda works, right? Any study of propaganda is that it's the repetition of something that get you to start changing your beliefs and formats. The other things that come out that are not necessarily so directly on point around what they want you to see or hear are really there for them to say to you, oh, look, it's it's freedom of speech, or we give a wide array of views. But if they do that one mixed in with 45 other things that kind of get you to believe that the only way to get out of poverty is for you to pull your bootstrap, raise yourself up by your bootstraps. But that one thing which talks about systemic racism and so forth, they can live with that. They can live with that.
Yeah, and I think the word genius also, when we talk about, when we give praise as like this dude is a genius, it's the wordplay, the way you're able to approach a topic and put it in the right words in, so people could get it at the same time, laugh at it. That's just like lyricism of an MC. It's like that's genius how they put it together. So when people be like, "Oh, he's not a genius," actually,
you could be a genius in one area. It don't mean you're smart about everything.
Exactly.
Because you can make me laugh doesn't mean I need to go to you for my international relations.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't get my politics from you, but if you can turn a phrase or make me think something or say something a little different and funny and humorous and examine it, that's cool. Like just like you like musicians do it. Don't mean I go to, I'm saying I'm not looking to some hip hop artist for my politics.
And that's the thing right there. That's the thing right there. It's like once they get a mic in front of them, like, oh, they're not up here to be politicians. They've been up here to be wordsmiths when it comes to.
But the problem becomes sometimes they think
that is.
They also think, just like we get all this stuff around, the crash and burning of Twitter in some ways. You get people who think because they do one thing successful in one area that they now know all things kind of shit. Right. And then a lot of folks have enough money to project it.